Oh boy. Oh boy. So everybody knows probably from the season one, you have at least heard if you tried the game out or anything like that. People were not happy about the nerfs that they brought to Diablo 4. Now, in my opinion, it's not that big a deal going from, oh, I can run a tier 60 dungeon and now I can only do a tier 50 dungeon. Not the end of the world, but the community absolutely lost their minds, got the pitchforks out. It was the end of the world. And some heads might be rolling over at Blizzard. We can't say for sure just yet, but let's go ahead and take a look at this article right here. Blizzard hiring a new lead designer after season one backlash. Now, we're not going to read the entire article word for word. I'll put a link at the top of the description if you would like to look over that. But pretty much it just says people were not happy with the season one launch with their builds getting nerfed and things like that, the majority of changes. So they had the campfire talk, the stuff that we already know happened. They kind of said a lot of the right things. But according to the job listing, lead season designer position requires the candidate to have a minimum of 5 years experience, 2 years of leadership, blah, 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 blah. So pretty much they're hiring a new season designer. Now, as we scroll down a little bit more, it doesn't really say if it's replacing, like, did somebody get fired, or are they bringing in additional just help or new ideas, fresh blood, however you want to word it. Now, nobody really wants to see people get fired. I hate to see people lose their jobs. It's kind of like a traumatic experience, I would imagine. Personally, I've never been fired before, but that's just me. But if you don't do great at your job, I can see how it could happen if your boss isn't happy with your performance, if you're dealing with the public and the public just isn't happy with the product that you're doing, things are going to happen. But I know it's a tough job, but they're just bringing in new blood, or perhaps it's replacing. It doesn't really specify, but right now they're trying to rectify the situation. They got more campfires coming up in the future. But yeah, beyond just them saying that they're bringing in new blood, we can take a look over at actually this Twitch right here, and you can see this is kind of in the morning. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning, but look at the number of people watching Diablo 4 right now. 8,300 people. It's a little small. 8,300 people total watching Diablo 4 on Twitch. The old Path of Exile, I know Path of Exile 2 just got announced, but Path of Exile, the first one, has 5,600 people watching it. So that's less, but I mean, that's been out for a hot minute, right? World of Warcraft sitting just at 25,000. Counter-Strike Global, 64,000. Come over, Call of Duty Warzone's got 15,000. That's been out for a hot minute. And actually, old school RuneScape, I don't know why it brought these up for necessarily recommended games for me. I don't watch anything on here except for Diablo 2 and Diablo 4 occasionally. Occasionally when I do hop into some sweet people's streams over on Twitch, but old school RuneScape's got 8,600 people watching it. I mean, geez, you got the same amount of people watching RuneScape as Diablo 4. So that kind of shows you the drop off. And I know it's only, what is it, a month into the first season? I don't know. It's pretty shocking, pretty jarring, the amount of player drop off, in my opinion, for this game. I remember originally looking at this like day one launch for Diablo 4. It was like hundreds of thousands of people were watching. So pretty crazy drop off. And I went ahead and Googled these job openings, and here they are. And there's actually more than just the one. I read a couple different articles to kind of make sure I had all the information, I wasn't missing anything. And it said 5 or 6 on some other ones, but it looks like there's actually, this is just on Google. You can go ahead and look it up. And there's actually a ton of different job openings here. So senior level design up at the top here, that's the most obvious one, but there's technical designer right here, a senior producer of live operations. Keep scrolling down here. Lead software engineer for build and animation, senior software develop engineer tester, associate dungeon designer. So somebody to help out with dungeon design, I suppose. Here's some analytic type of stuff. So not, that's kind of more technical. I don't feel like that's really on the same side as the development of the game or whatever, but senior game producer. There's so many, another senior game producer. And this one's from actually 16 days ago, but some of them, as you get down a little bit further, I suppose they're a little bit older. This one's quest designer, 6 days ago. So this is not an old post for a job, right? And then there's, I don't know, these are maybe some older posts from some of the same stuff 5 days ago. Game producer for seasons. So there's actually a ton of different jobs here posted for Blizzard. This one doesn't specifically say Diablo 4, so it could be for a lot of different things, I suppose. But mainly, man, there's several several jobs here posted for Diablo 4. So, like I said, I hope nobody lost their jobs necessarily. Hopefully, they can just turn it around and make the game great. Nobody wants a bad Diablo game. So, let me know your thoughts on this whole thing down in the comments section, fellas. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe before you go. And huge shout out to the YouTube channel members, Twitch subs, and the patrons. With your support, you make it possible for me to keep streaming and making videos on my different channels. Peace out, fellas, and keep slaying.